Today we're taking that stack of sources you sent over and, well, we're turning them into something useful. Maybe even some real aha moments. We're skipping the usual textbook approach today. Instead, we're diving straight into the real power of language, how it changes things. Specifically, we've got this amazing collection of firsthand accounts, real stories exploring how learning English just radically changes lives.
Yeah,
And it goes way beyond, grammar rules or memorizing verbs.
exactly. It's much more fundamental than that.
Our sources today, they're really powerful. People from different places, different jobs. Painting this incredibly vivid picture, it shows how English acts like a key, a catalyst for opportunity. Big opportunities, small ones too. It's not just a school subject. It feels more like a tool, for rebuilding things professionally, personally. So our mission today, we want to pull out the surprising ways, the practical ways, the truly transformative ways English opens these, well, we're calling them doors. Doors to jobs, doors to knowledge, doors to connecting with people.
Yeah.
We want to show you the tangible benefits, not just the idea of being fluent. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, and what's really striking right from the start in these sources is how we need to rethink language learning. It's not really an academic thing, is it? Not just about getting good grades. It's a tool, a high utility skill, basically. Like one learner put it, English is a key to the world's knowledge. And I think for you listening, someone who wants to get knowledge quickly, thoroughly, this deep dive gives you that shortcut. It shows you how to use the key.
Right, the application.
Exactly. And the stories, they cover so much ground. I mean, we're talking about someone landing a huge career promotion because of their English. And then in another story, someone fixing a broken washing machine using English resources.
That's amazing.
It really is. The benefits are concrete. You see career jumps, more independence, just real personal growth. Confidence, adaptability, it works in the boardroom and it works when your dishwasher breaks down. That's the utility we're seeing.
That dual function is exactly what makes this so compelling, I think. High-level career stuff on one hand and just making daily life easier on the other. So we've got this story, let's call him Johnny. His promotion completely hinged on being comfortable with high-stakes English. And then you contrast that with someone else just feeling more self-reliant because they found a manual online. In English, we really need to get into the why. Why was English the make-or-break factor in both cases? Okay, let's start where the impact often feels most immediate. Work, careers. The sources just keep hammering this point. English isn't just like a nice to have on your resume anymore. It gives you a serious competitive edge.
A definite edge.
We heard this story about Johnny, right? Works in engineering, technically brilliant, super smart guy. But his career had kind of stalled until he really got comfortable with English.
Right. So the skill was there, but something was missing.
Yeah. And then this big project came up. Huge. International collaboration. Clients everywhere, like 3 different continents.
Okay, high pressure.
Totally. The kind of project that decides if you stay stuck in middle management or, move up, become a leader. Now, the technical skills on his team, solid. Everyone was good at the engineering part.
No.
But the project had these specific communication demands. All the big meetings with stakeholders, English, all the legal documents, the technical specs, drafted, reviewed, negotiated, all in English.
Okay. So it wasn't just about chatting.
No way. It was about complex, high-stakes stuff, needing quick, clear, articulate responses. Negotiations.
And this is where it gets interesting, isn't it? It's beyond just knowing the words. It's about communication competence. Like you said, many people on that team probably had tourist English or, they could handle basic emails.
Yeah. Functional.
But the sources make this critical distinction. Very few felt comfortable enough or had the mastery to actually lead a meeting, especially a virtual one, where you're juggling complex technical stuff on the fly, maybe dealing with difficult questions, different accents.
And drafting those long, careful emails, the ones where every word matters, using that professional hedging language.
Exactly.
That nuance.
That's such a key point. It's one thing to say, yeah, meetings tomorrow. Quite another to write an email arguing over a multi-million-dollar contract change. You need to be polite, but firm, legally precise, all at once.
And when the pressure's on like that, the room for error just shrinks, doesn't it? That's where the confidence kicks in.
Yeah.
The confidence that comes from really knowing the language deeply. That becomes the decider, the career differentiator.
Absolutely.
And think about the specific skills needed there. It's not just perfect grammar, it's active listening, right? Especially with non-native speakers who might have strong accents.
It's being able to take a dense, 30-page report and boil it down to 4 key bullet points for the boss, quickly, accurately.
Yeah.
So when Johnny's boss was looking for someone to lead this huge international thing, Johnny got picked, specifically because he showed he could handle it all. The meetings, the documents, the pressure, in English.
And the source called this a game-changing opportunity, which makes sense. It led straight to a promotion, a totally different role for him, changed his whole career trajectory.
Huge impact.
But I do wonder, is this dominance of English in these high-stakes jobs always good? Is there a risk? Are companies maybe overlooking brilliant people, technically amazing people, just because their English isn't perfect?
That's a really important question. And the sources, they don't completely ignore that. There's a nuance there.
Right.
But they tend to frame the English skill less as a barrier meant to exclude people and more as, a necessary tool for efficiency, especially in a global system.
Okay. How so?
Well, think about international legal stuff or ISO standards or technical jargon in fields like, say, semiconductor manufacturing. You need a common language just to operate, to get things done reliably.
Right. A shared understanding.
Exactly. And right now, English fills that role, mostly because of the historical influence of U.S. and U.K. research, universities, corporations. They set many of the global norms.
So it's structural, in a way.
Pretty much. So the career door English opens. It's fundamentally the door to influence. Your ideas might be incredible, world-changing even, but if you can't explain them clearly, confidently, to the global decision makers who are usually working in English.
Then your impact stays local, limited.
Precisely. The language skill lets you share your expertise effectively. It shifts you from being just a skilled person in your region to someone seen as a leader on a global stage. And that's a clear step up in your career, a big leap.
Okay, that professional leverage is definitely powerful. But let's shift gears a bit. Move from the boardroom into the library or the internet. Because here's where the impact gets even broader, I think. It gets really interesting.
Yeah.
One learner described learning English not just as learning skills, but like getting a key to a whole new library, a global library of thought.
I like that metaphor, a new library.
It speaks to just the sheer amount of stuff out there and how quickly you can get it. If you want to really dive deep into any field that's moving fast like AI or, quantum physics or even something niche like sustainable urban farming, the newest research, the most detailed guides, the cutting-edge thinking, it's often published first in English, sometimes only in English.
And we should probably pause on why that is, right? Why the structural dominance?
Good point.
It often comes down to English being the default language for global research projects,
Right.
for standardized technical documents, and really importantly, for open source communities online.
Like coding and software.
Exactly. Think about programming languages themselves or the manuals for complex machines, even just the way the internet is built. A lot of it is rooted in English concepts, English standards.
Right.
So for someone who's trying to learn on their own, this is huge. If you're waiting for that breakthrough paper on, say, climate modeling to get translated into your own language,
Yeah.
you might be waiting months, maybe a year, maybe never.
Well, the English version is already out there.
Right. By learning English, you get instant access, zero delay. You're plugged directly into the global knowledge pool, like that learner who was interested in sustainable living. They talked about finding hundreds of amazing blogs, online forums, and comprehensive courses, stuff that just wasn't available elsewhere.
And that access led to real changes for them.
Yeah, they said it profoundly changed some of my habits and worldview because the information was right there, ready to be used immediately.
Access to current, unfiltered knowledge. That really is empowering. But what I love is how this spills over from big academic ideas into the everyday, the real nuts and bolts. English as a secret superpower to fix things.
Yes, the practical magic.
This brings us to that great story, let's call her Sarah, and her broken appliance. She had this frustrating technical problem. Could be software, could be assembling furniture, but for her it was a big household thing, a washing machine, I think.
Yep, washing machine, classic problem.
And the instructions or help in her own language either didn't exist or were just too basic, useless.
Exactly. And you have to ask, why was the good solution, the detailed one, only in English?
Why?
Because those huge online communities of tech experts, the people who write the detailed product support guides, the folks making clear DIY videos, they operate where the audience is biggest and most diverse, which usually means English language forums, YouTube, Reddit, places like that.
Makes sense.
So Sarah described being totally stuck, ready to call a super expensive repair person.
Yeah.
Right. But she decided to try one last thing. Searching online using English terms.
Yeah.
And she found it. A really specific step-by-step video tutorial using all the proper technical terms. It showed her exactly how to replace some specific part, like a vowel for something.
Wow.
Yeah. And she fixed it herself. That was a huge moment for her.
Okay, it saved her money, obviously.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's true.
But the real win, as Sarah put it, was that feeling, the huge boost in self-reliance, feeling less dependent.
Absolutely.
It proves that English is kind of the language for talking to technology, isn't it? Or about it. Assembling flat-pack furniture, figuring out a software bug, fixing your washing machine.
Yeah.
The best, most detailed help is usually in English.
It really is. It's the ultimate operational door, you could say.
And knowing you have that key, it changes how you face problems, doesn't it?
Totally. You hit a snag, and instead of feeling helpless or immediately reaching for your wallet.
You think, okay, I can probably figure this out.
Exactly. I have the key to the global troubleshooting manual. That feeling of capability just from language access, it's powerful. Saves time, saves money, reduces frustration, makes you feel smarter, more competent in daily life.
Okay, so we've covered careers, we've covered information and fixing things. Let's move into the really personal stuff. The human connection. Language, fundamentally, it builds bridges, right? And English, just because so many people speak it, it really does seem to shrink the world. It opens up cultural exchange, expands your social circles.
Definitely. It acts as a lingua franca in so many situations.
We heard some really powerful stories about this. People using online platforms,
Yeah.
language exchange apps, maybe even online games to connect with others. People in Japan, Germany, Brazil, various parts of Africa, all over.
Global reach.
But the key thing here, and this really stood out, was that the conversations didn't just stay at the level of practicing English.
Right. It went deeper.
Yeah. They quickly started talking about their actual lives, sharing details about food or customs, politics, history, even really personal things like hopes and fears.
And that shift from just practicing verbs to actually sharing life, that's where the real transformation happens, isn't it?
Totally.
English stops being this thing you study and becomes a real channel for understanding each other, for empathy. And these aren't just quick chats that disappear. The sources said some of these connections turned into real, lasting friendships, giving people a genuine window into completely different ways of living.
Amazing.
What's also kind of interesting sociologically is the role English plays there. Like when someone from Germany is talking to someone from Japan, English often becomes this neutral ground, a third space.
So it avoids the power dynamic of one person speaking the other's native language.
Exactly. It levels the playing field in a way. Makes genuine connection maybe a bit easier for global bonding.
And that feeling of connection, of the ability to communicate, it translates directly into confidence when traveling, too.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Big time.
We heard this really relatable story from one learner. They admitted being a little scared to travel alone initially, but realizing they had to speak English every day while traveling.
Yeah.
It forced them to face that fear.
Immersion therapy, basically.
Right. And it completely changed the trip. It went from being kind of scary and necessary to being joyful, spontaneous, real exploration.
Well, just being able to handle things in a strange place. Confidently asking for directions, ordering food, dealing with a flight delay. It changes the whole feeling of the trip, doesn't it?
Yeah, you feel competent.
That specific story about the hostel really illustrates it. Meeting this random group of young people, all from different European countries. And what language do they use to plan their day, exploring the city, share stories, cook dinner together?
English.
English. It was the common thread, the lingua franca that allowed that spontaneous community to form.
Imagine missing out on that richness just because you couldn't join the conversation.
Exactly. Those shared experiences, those laughs, those connections, they often depend on having that common language. The confidence to just jump in and connect with an international group, that shows how English builds community instantly, socially, emotionally.
Now, let's connect this back to, like, overall personal growth, resilience, learning a new language, especially one as complex and idiomatic as English.
Yeah.
It forces you to grapple with new ways of thinking, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's cognitive flexibility training.
It's not just memorizing words. You have to adopt different logic sometimes, different grammar structures to explain the same reality.
And that mental workout is maybe the deepest benefit of all. When you're constantly talking with people from different backgrounds, different ways of speaking, you have to adapt your style. You learn patience. You realize your own way of thinking isn't the only way.
Yeah.
That whole process makes you more open-minded, more comfortable with change, with ambiguity. And those are essential life skills, right? Way beyond just language.
That mental stretch is huge. But the sources also talked a lot about overcoming personal barriers, specifically shyness.
Ah, yes, the fear factor.
Pushing past that fear. That seemed like a really powerful engine for growth in itself.
It is.
Almost everyone mentioned it. Starting out feeling incredibly shy, terrified of speaking, worried about making mistakes, looking foolish.
That's a very common feeling. Vulnerable.
But they all realized you can't get better without practicing. Perseverance was key. They had to speak, even with errors. And every little success, ordering coffee, answering a question, understanding a joke, built confidence, little by little.
And if you think about the psychology of it, learning English forces you into these vulnerable situations repeatedly. You're essentially doing constant exposure therapy for social anxiety in a way.
Never thought of it like that, but yeah.
And conquering that fear in a foreign language, no less, it spills over. It makes you more willing to take risks, more confident, back in your native language, too, in other parts of your life.
It teaches you that mistakes aren't failures.
Exactly. They're just data, information for next time. So the confidence you build isn't just about English. It changes how you see yourself. The language is the vehicle, sure, but the destination. It's real, lasting personal growth. Feeling more capable and resilient when facing challenges. Any challenge.
We should also touch on just enjoying stuff more. The cultural side. For a lot of people, this is the most fun door English opens.
The entertainment factor.
Yeah. Like, think about watching a movie or a TV show.
Yeah.
The difference between waiting for subtitles,
Yeah.
which are always someone else's interpretation, right?
Always a filter.
Versus watching it in the original English, the sources kept saying,
Right.
you get the jokes properly, you catch the subtle nuances, the cultural references, you get the real feeling of the actors, how they delivered the lines the writer actually wrote.
It shifts from just consuming it to really immersing yourself in it, experiencing it directly.
Absolutely. Full immersion.
And that applies just as much to music and books, doesn't it? Understanding song lyrics in English. It transforms music. It stops being just sounds and becomes meaningful. You connect with the artist's actual message, the context.
Yeah, you finally know what they're really singing about.
And for people who love to read, the ultimate goal is often reading books in the original English, experiencing the author's exact words. Because translation, even really good translation, always involves choices. The translator has to decide. Do I prioritize the exact meaning or the cultural feel or the rhythm? You often can't have it all.
Right, something gets lost.
Usually, yes. So accessing the original text, whether it's a brand new novel or a technical paper or even a famous historical speech, it lets you appreciate the full complexity, the beauty, the precision of the author's voice, unfiltered.
He just adds another layer of depth, a richer experience.
Definitely.
Okay, now let's look at this idea of the full circle impact. How someone goes from being a learner, maybe struggling, to becoming a teacher or a mentor.
Ah, the pay it forward aspect.
Yeah. It seems like once people gain real confidence in English, it doesn't just stay with them. It starts to radiate outwards, into their family, their community.
That's a really lovely progression, isn't it? From student to expert.
Yeah.
As you get better, you naturally become the go-to person. Friends, family, coworkers start asking for help. Hey, how would you say this? Or can you just check this email for me? It's important.
Right. The local expert.
And just doing that, helping others informally, it provides constant reinforcement, social validation. It cements your own feeling of mastery, makes you feel capable.
And for one person in the sources, this just naturally evolved into something more formal.
The teaching role, yeah.
Yeah. Helping out with emails gave them the confidence. Maybe they realized they actually enjoyed explaining things. And eventually, they got involved with teaching English properly through a platform. I think they mentioned one called Native Speakers or something similar.
And that's really the ultimate outcome, isn't it? Taking your own hard-won skill and using it to make a positive impact on others. It shows this ripple effect. Someone starts out maybe struggling to understand a manual and ends up becoming a leader who helps other people get past their communication hurdles. The knowledge doesn't just stop with personal benefit. It becomes a shared resource, helps the whole community move forward.
So what does this all mean? When you put it all together,
Yeah.
it means that choosing to really get good at English, it's way more than just learning a language. It's a choice for more agency, more opportunity, more connection in your life.
Absolutely.
Every single step matters. Understanding one more article, having one slightly scary conversation with someone new, writing one clear, persuasive email. Each one is like opening another door. And these doors, they lead everywhere. Practical fixes for your house, big career moves, amazing friendships across the globe, and just a richer way to experience culture. Hashtag tag outro.
So just to wrap it all up, the sheer breadth of this transformation is incredible. English really does stand out as maybe the single most practical tool right now for unlocking so many things. Leadership roles, accessing cutting-edge technical solutions, forging those spontaneous global friendships we talked about, and building that deep personal confidence and resilience, the range of doors it opens. From high-level strategy and communication down to just feeling self-reliant, navigating the everyday world, it's kind of astonishing. And the impact feels very immediate for people.
It really does. And as we finish up this deep dive, maybe something for you, the listener, to think about. Where are your own knowledge gaps? Where could a key unlock something for you? This whole discussion shows pretty clearly, I think, that learning a language doesn't just change what you know. It changes how you think, how you operate in the world.
Fundamentally.
So if knowing English helped one person fix their washing machine, and it helped someone else land a massive promotion, what single piece of information, maybe a complex instruction set, a technical manual, a groundbreaking paper, what piece of knowledge currently locked away behind a language barrier holds the key to your next unexpected, invaluable opportunity? Something to ponder. Keep seeking that knowledge, keep pushing your boundaries, and keep opening those doors.